We the bing bong bunch.
Hello and welcome to Jeep Grand Cherokee, the podcast, aka Ride Off. With your hosts, I'm Mason Dent, and that's Lachlan Halliwell.
Oh, do you feel okay doing that?
Is
that not like...
who cares?
I got big identity issues.
Do you?
Yeah. No.
Identity issues?
Oh, there we go. See, I set him up for that joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're feeling good. We got, was that coffee or water?
That's water. I
That's
had
water?
my coffee.
Got my breakfast in a bottle here. You know, remember high school when we had like showers in a can? This is the new thing.
Oh, holy shit, yeah.
We called
Showers
it
in a
Lynx
can.
Africa.
Yeah. No shit. A bit of terminology from the old days.
Man, that happened everywhere though. I still... I was one of those pricks in like year 7 and 8 that just... You start spraying a bit too early, it goes everywhere. You know what I mean?
Wait, like you brought it to school?
Yeah, because I had to ride my bike to school, right? So I'd shower in the morning, and then I'd get to school, and I'd be sweaty as fuck. So I'm like, alright, I stink. I need it. So I was one of them.
Why wouldn't you just like have a more leisurely bike ride?
Because we always cut it real fucking close.
Yeah.
Honestly. And it wasn't our fault, it was always Jack's fault. We'd always rock up to his place, and he's still like brushing his teeth. Me and Tom, shout out to Tom.
See, this is the thing though. After a certain amount of times, you should have just been like, alright, if he's not there at this time, let's fucking go.
We started doing that around year 11.
So it took you 5 years to figure it out.
It took us a long fucking time. And even then, we'd still feel kind of bad most of the time. So there's nothing I hate more than people who fucking are late. It's one of my pet peeves. I don't know, I'm a very patient person.
Too patient in my opinion, bro.
Yeah, that's fair. It is kind of a detriment sometimes, but, like I let it all seethe within. That's never healthy.
No.
But, I was never mad at Jack for being late.
Well, I mean...
If I walked up to school late, I'd be like, yeah, it was Jack's fault. They didn't give a shit.
I mean, it's been like, what, 6 years? And
it
sounds like you're still sort of...
Yeah, I'm still bottling it up, man. Anyway, what's up? What's been going on? We're a week late, but, welcome back.
Yeah, my bad. Uni is sort of coming to a head, so... yeah, there was an extra week break there, but...
no issue there.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Gave us an extra week to write our stories, and I will tell you now, that does not reflect in mine whatsoever.
I'm going to say a very same with mine, I think.
Yeah,
because I started writing what I wrote, and it's just so... I guess different to what I've been writing the past few weeks. And it might fall short. I know a lot of people, if they see it, will probably be like, man, that was pretty shit. And I'll be like, yeah, fair. It might be pretty shit, but well, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, no, it'll be it's gonna be a fun time. Now, how did we start this off last time? We're talking about
what have you been consuming?
Consuming, right? What have I been consuming? It's mainly just been like One Piece, and
you're on that train.
I'm on the One Piece train, chugga chugga choo choo, and it's brilliant. So I've had finished Sky Island. People watching may not know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, probably not. Just assume they don't.
Yeah, okay, so, really cool big story moments here, and then there's been these, 3 little filler segments, and now I feel it's coming to another big one, You gotta get through those little bits, and they can still have their moments.
Yeah, that's true.
I
mean, it all fleshes out the world.
Definitely, yeah, and, even the bits that aren't canonical, they still give the characters a bit of development and a bit of purpose.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome. I love it so much.
And we're back. Sorry about that. My computer did what it does best and fucked up on me. So now I'm extra inspired to get a new one.
Good. That time.
Yeah, it took a bit of convincing from both the computer and my co-host here, but I think I'm sold. Anyway, what media have you been consuming recently?
Well, since our last recording, I finished that trilogy of books, the Broken Earth trilogy that I mentioned, which was fucking underwhelming as shit, man. It's a bad ending. Just don't recommend. I don't recommend it. The first book's okay. But as a series, I wouldn't read it.
Okay, I feel like, was that the one that you told us about at work that you were enjoying quite a bit? Or am I thinking of a different one? You read a lot of books.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first book, and then it just didn't do very well after that.
That's a shame.
But I was like, I'll finish it.
No, good on
Like,
you.
dude, just such a bad ending. Like, you know how, like, in certain, you watch a show or read a book or whatever, and there's a feeling that you get at the end of a show or at the end of a story, and it's like, okay, like, I'm content. Like, everything was sort of, it made enough sense and enough, like, story sort of threads all came to an end together that it was like, okay.
It's
like,
it's kind of a rare feeling, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I know the feeling you're talking about. I think of, like, I feel like Breaking Bad did that for me.
Yeah. But, like, there's levels to it, but this one just, I don't know. It's just lame. It's just shit. Anyway, so finished that trilogy. I'm on the third book of another trilogy called The Gentleman Bastard Sequence, which is fucking phenomenal. Can't recommend it enough. It's fucking... it's just fantastic. Yeah, Gentleman Bastard Sequence. There's 3 books. I'm on the third one. Apparently the 4th one's coming out next year. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean meets... I haven't seen The Godfather, but I presume it's just like Italian mafia shit. And like the setting's great. The characters are great. It's just so much vulgar language and like metaphors and stuff. It's sick. And it's like got elements of like heist movies and stuff, which is...
that sounds... Yeah.
It's just a
What's
really
the
great
setting of
blend.
it? You said like you said Pirates and Godfather-esque.
Yeah, because like the first book says it's set in like a city that I would describe as like the city of Venice, except with a bit more sort of thuggishness about it and slight hints of like fantasy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the second book they sort of move to another city, and then there's a lot of stuff on the open seas. And then the third book, I'm partway into it. I don't really know where it's going, but that's great. I recommend that highly. And then I'm on the first book of the Broken Empire trilogy, which is interesting. This is one I mentioned to you the other day about the main character being a 13-year-old boy who's like this fucking absolute psychopath.
Yeah, but I imagine, like, from what you've told me of what he's done, I haven't read the story. I don't know anything surrounding it.
No.
I just know of, like, one thing. So it's easy to be like, that seems a bit much, bro. But,
No, it's
I can't
an
really
interesting
cast a
book.
judgment.
I'm assuming it's just the way that it's sort of dropping hints of like real people that exist. It's sort of like a weird post-apocalyptic fantasy.
Okay.
Which I've read similar books in the past. There's a series called the Shattered Sea trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, which is in a similar vein. Interesting, but really easy read though.
Yeah.
This book.
Okay. When you say it's referencing like real
Plato, Confucius.
So do you mean the characters are referencing?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
characters are in reference.
No, the characters are referencing.
They're actually speaking. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it implies it's set in
like in the future, in Mad Max type shit.
No,
Yeah, that's just.
It's almost like it's being nuked back to like the Dark Ages, and it's like a medieval revival sort of thing. As far as I can tell, anyway. I'm in the first book, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been reading.
Nice. Yeah, I need to get back to reading. I forgot what it was called even. What was it called?
The book
that...
The Final Empire.
Yeah, it's next to my bed. And the reason I haven't been reading it is because when I think I'm going to read this, I'm like, I'm just going to watch One Piece instead, And I haven't regretted those choices yet.
Yeah.
But, I started reading that. I should finish it. I should at least finish one book within a year, That's kind of a goal of mine.
Yeah, don't be my sister, bro. She's been reading, I think the Picture of Dorian Gray, is that what that book's called? Oscar Wilde? It's a really famous book, but she's been reading that pretty much for more than a year. And like I saw the other day, she's on page 62 because she keeps starting and then restarting, and she can't read one book in a fucking year and a half.
Oh man!
Which everyone has to read. I don't give a shit. But like, if you make a case that like, I'm going to read this book, read it.
I mean, I will say it is good that like, because sometimes, at least back in the day when I'd be reading, as I get near the end of the night, I'm like half falling asleep and I forget things. And sometimes I wouldn't bother to reread the chapter. But it sounds like George has done that on every single page.
Yeah.
So, she's
I'm
probably
like
retaining it at least.
Oh,
those
it doesn't
62
sound like
pages.
it. It doesn't sound like it. But yeah, that's it.
No, hell yeah, man. Should we speaking of stories, that was terrible.
Dude, you gotta stop doing that. You gotta stop fucking starting something and then going, no, that wasn't good.
It's just like...
go. Just roll.
You know what it is?
Just say shit.
I think what it is like, it's funny to me. It's because it's like, I don't think it was actually that terrible, but like pointing it out is funny to me. That's like a weird bit that I have been doing for such a long time that it's now natural. You know what I mean? It's like
Kind of, but like it can be so jarring, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe that's something I should work on a bit with my own personal life writing. I'm not apologizing.
And the accents like that.
What accent?
I mean, not accent, but like this sort of heighty-tightiness.
Yeah, because I'm trying to... When I say something like life writing, that's the most ridiculously pretentious thing. Like, I'm writing all the things I'm saying, so I'm like, hello. I don't think anyone's... Oh, maybe someone's probably referred to life writing. Anyway, should I read my story? I think I'm first this week. Or are there other things that we cover first? I forget what the order of this show is.
Just go.
Just
There's
go.
no order. Just like, stop questioning shit, man. Just do shit.
All right, I need to believe in myself. Okay, so my story was about a stinky cowboy in the outback in a world where the banks have collapsed and the main currency is gollywogs. I'm just going to...
Gollywog dolls.
Gollywog dolls. Yeah, I mean...
Is there a difference? Is a gollywog inherently a doll?
I think so, yeah. I had to do a lot of research on this for no other reason in particular, but for this story. I believe gollywog is gollywog doll. Anyway, let's get to it. We'll see if I can get these accents right.
Barkeep, grab us another one. Make it a double shot.
The drunk at the bar pulls out a gollywog doll from his jacket and slams it on the table. Its black felt strongly contrasting his white skin. The barkeeper takes it and throws it in a tub behind him, full of other gollywogs.
You know, I'm surprised you blackfellas have taken so well to this. Guess we've come a long way, hey?
The bartender goes to fill his drink, ignoring his comment. I mean, it's not like they had a say in the matter or even a choice. After all, they were nothing more than a speck on the Australian outback, a little town called Gammon. The barkeeper reminisced to a simpler time before the pandemic tanked the Aussie dollar. A time where paper and coin was still commonplace before this racist world somehow became even more racist. But why gollywogs of all things? What were the banks not telling us? And how the hell does a bank collapse? These thoughts were quickly interrupted by a bright purple light from outside the bar, accompanied by what sounded like a huge thunderstrike. The bartender was shocked. It was rare in the outback for the weather to get this bad, especially so quickly, but as fast as the weather seemingly changed, it calmed back down. The drunk was seemingly too preoccupied with his drink to have even noticed, and it was a slow day, so no one else was in the room to share his shock. Still stunned by what had just occurred, the doors to the bar opened, and there stood a man dressed rather uniquely. Donning a wide-brimmed hat and a black coat, it looked as if he was from an old Clint Eastwood film. Only difference was that Clint Eastwood wasn't black, and movies didn't smell like a mixture of mustard and cigarettes. While the drunk may not have heard the thunder, he definitely noticed the new stench wafting into the building.
Christ, mate! You gotta fix the air conditioner in here. It's fucking putrid!
The man at the door chimed in. My apologies, partner. That there smell might be yours truly. I do beg your pardon. The drunk begins laughing.
Don't worry about it, mate!
He takes 2 napkins and places them into his nostrils, and then spins around to face the cowboy to show off his solution while having a laugh. How clever. The drunk takes note of the man and raises an eyebrow as he continues.
You're a funny-looking blackfella, aren't ya?
He snot rockets the napkins from his nose.
From round here?
The cowboy sits down. I most certainly am not. What gave it away?
Well, as drunk as I am, I can tell you're not Aboriginal. Also, you're dressed up like a fucking cowboy!
The new patron lets out a small laugh. My word, you have some mighty fine detective skills for a banker. The bartender's ears perk up as he says that, while the drunk's demeanour becomes much more hostile. He slammed his glass down, breaking the base of it.
Who you callin' banker, you fucking stranger? Do you know who I am?
The cowboy, unmoved from this aggression, responded, Relax, partner, as he pulled out a golden coin, which immediately calmed down the drunk.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't realise you were part of the Institute. Maybe my being drunk, I couldn't recognise you. I'll buy you a drink.
The cowboy shakes his head. Won't have no gollywogs spent on me. Much obliged. The drunk laughs.
Gee, for a fellow banker, you seem pretty old school.
Well, that's one way to put it. I mean, I'm all about keeping people in check. He looked at the bartender and winked at him, the drunk not noticing. The bartender moved away from the two and began cleaning some glasses, while still keeping an ear on the conversation. He wasn't sure what the wink meant, but he was sure that the cowboy stank, and he'd rather be a bit further away.
That's what I like to hear. What we've managed to do here is nothing short of godlike.
That's a funny way to put it, partner. Say, are you a God-fearing man? The question makes the drunk laugh even harder.
Wow, you're old school, old school. What's there for us to be afraid of?
Well, a few things, I guess. What if, in the future, hypothetically, a small group of outlaws banded together to go against the normalization of gollywogs as a currency, and decided to go back in time and deal with the problem before it had even started? He stared coldly towards the drunk, who despite his stupor returned this stare back, and after a few seconds burst out again into laughter, to which the cowboy smiled at.
By God, you're a funny fella. What sort of conspiracy bullshit is that? Oh my God, I gotta tell Michael about that one. Maybe Kelly too.
The cowboy's smile got bigger, a bit toothier. Say, who's this, Kelly fella? Sounds like he'd enjoy my little joke.
You haven't met Kelly Craig? Between you and me, he's the bloke that told me a bit more about what's going on. They say we're just using gammon as a test for the new currency, he burps. The higher-ups are planning to roll it out to the rest of Australia soon enough. But don't tell anyone that. Honestly, not sure if Kelly was meant to tell me or Michael. You know Michael, yeah?
Yeah, I know Michael. He was the one that told me about you, but he couldn't remember Kelly Craig's name, so thank you for that. In fact, this was his coin. The drunk lowers his eyebrows.
What are you talking about, cowboy?
The cowboy returned with a smirk. My friend, so far, you have been the easiest one. You're so far gone, you haven't even noticed the pistol I've had pressed against your thigh for the past 5 minutes. You know what a femoral artery is? Boy, you're about to find out. Smile still intact, a loud bang came from under the table, causing the bartender to drop the very clean glass and the drunken banker to fall on the ground screaming, blood very quickly pooling around him.
Damn, boy! You're whiter than you were when I walked in!
The cowboy said joyfully as the drunken man's screams slowly stopped, his pale face emblematic of a person both in shock and very low on blood. The cowboy reaches into the panicked man's jacket and takes out a gollywog.
See this racist shit? This quote-unquote currency?
He rips its head off, significantly devaluing it.
In a few years, this goes worldwide. My country has its own racist shit going on, and we don't got time for this. Gotta stop it at its dirty fucking core.
The drunk didn't seem to register much of what the cowboy was saying, as he fell unconscious, still bleeding out. The cowboy then rummaged his jacket again, grabbing a second gold coin. He flicked it towards the bartender, who caught it.
My bad, partner.
That coin should cover these cleaning costs soon enough. Do what you want with those fucking dolls. They won't be worth shit when I'm done with the institute. The cowboy then took out a cigarette and a bottle of mustard. The bartender watched him squeeze out some of the mustard on the tip of the cigarette and light up, a slight crackle of electricity wrapping around it. Now, if you'll excuse me, about to have a friendly chat with this here Kelly Craig fella. And with another flash of lightning, the cowboy vanished. His stench, however, remained. The end. Yeah, it's not my best one, but I had a bit of fun with it, and, it was just... I sort of pictured it like the opening to something maybe a bit bigger, and just sort of setting a few things up. There was a bit of classic, we need exposition, so talk, say everything that's going on, and you're drunk, so that's how we'll excuse it.
Yeah. I just, we've gone such a different route with it.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
No, fair enough, man. I had a few different ideas. I think I was always going to go with the idea that the banks, there was some conspiracy. I was going to have the cowboy fight robot gollywogs, and the issue was going to be he can't kill them because that might be racist. But yeah, how would you have gone about that one?
I don't know, I just couldn't have done time travel, I don't think.
Nah, fair enough. I just thought that was kind of funny. Like a cowboy from the future is silly.
And I wouldn't have done the cowboy American.
No?
No.
Because
it was all Australian shit.
No, I know.
I would have kept him Australian.
When I think of cowboy, I think American, so I just went with that.
Yeah.
I guess there probably would be Australian cowboys.
Yeah, cowboy's not inherently American.
No, it's not inherently American, but it's very,
it's popularized in that way.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of tropey to make him American.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
And he's like an outsider. in this world.
It's so absurd though to claim that the Gollywog currency goes worldwide. Like that is just retarded.
I'm picturing America see that and be like, another way we can, systematic racism. Let's add to it. Like, obviously, this could never happen. I like to think.
Yeah,
you never know. Hey man, I don't know.
Kelly Craig Kelly.
See, I thought of Kelly Craig, and then I realized that, and I was like, yeah, I'm keeping that in.
Yeah, okay.
Because fuck Craig Kelly.
I was waiting for like
I'll go with
McCormick Michael or something. I thought that was the Michael character.
What was that?
McCormick Michael,
I don't know who that is.
the Deputy Prime Minister.
See you there.
Oh, well, he was. I think Barnaby Joyce is.
Oh,
deputy
yeah,
again.
no, okay, the name is familiar. But, yeah, Kelly Craig just...
Yeah,
fuck
true.
it.
Yeah. I had one thing that stuck out early on when it's early on. You were explaining something and you said I mean, and then there was a comma, and then you explained. The I mean is so jarring.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think
because it's like the narration just becomes so different.
That's so fair. What I originally, when I was writing this, I was going to have it more so from the perspective of the bartender, and I changed that as I went, and I just didn't do a very good job editing it after the fact.
Yeah, because I think that's the only time you speak in the first person.
Yeah, no, that's...
And it's just weird.
Yeah, honestly, I probably could have gotten rid of the I mean,
Yeah.
and it would have cleaned a lot of that up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, just because we had the extra week does not reflect at all in this story. This was written in a day. It's a first draft.
Yeah, no, but
and,
fuck it, man. Like it's just interesting to see where you take the prompts.
Well, yeah, that's my story. If we wanna go to yours.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So I said I'd done something a bit different this week.
Yeah,
so
and I was very excited.
I've printed out my story and it's a bit of. I need your help. So this is your script. I've highlighted.
Oh my god!
I've highlighted all your lines.
Okay.
So you're playing two characters.
Yeah. Okay.
And
oh my god!
I've constructed this to your strong points. I hope you do well.
Oh.
And you should pick it up pretty early on. But this week my
Sorry.
You
Nothing. I'm not
good?
gonna say shit. It's just so funny.
Good. Okay. So my prompts were. My character is a bipolar, spoiled rich kid. Vampire's Mansion is the setting, and the story prompt was wheels are now illegal because of the mass wheel attack 5 years prior. And I've called my story Sveinfeld. Okay? And there's just be lenient with how you judge me for the use of the prompts. They're there, but they're kind of dumb. But yeah. I need a sip of water before we do this.
All right. Yeah, I might get my throat prepared.
Okay. And I've done this in like a television script format, so it's different than the sort of novel-esque one that I've been doing. But anyway, exterior, Jerris's mansion. As the intro music fades, we see a shot of the streets of New York City, where all the apartment blocks instead appear as mansions stacked on top of one another, like mansion apartments. Some really big ones can be seen on the horizon. New York City be looking crazy. Interior, Jerris's mansion entry. We see Jerris, a man striking a shocking resemblance to the comedian Jerry Seinfeld, if he were dressed up as a vampire for a Halloween party. The entryway to his mansion is modelled after the Seinfeld TV set, except with some spooky vampire shit decorating the room. He's pouring himself a red drink from a carton as we hear a ding-dong from the intercom nearby. Jerris walks over to the intercom and holds down a button.
Yeah?
It's Georgia!
Come on up!
Jerris hits another button on the intercom and unlocks the door, going back to his red drink, sipping from the glass as he puts the carton back in the fridge. A moment later, a chubby child vampire enters the room. He wears thin-rimmed glasses and is in the middle stages of balding.
My life is over! It's over, Jerris!
But Jordra, you're only a child!
You know damn well it's just my body, Jerris! Stupid immortal vampire body! I'd kill Jerris to look as good as you! But I'm stuck in this adolescent nightmare!
Yeah, sure is a nightmare.
Jerris takes a sip from the glass as Georgia slumps onto the couch nearby.
I spoke to my father! They're suing him, Jerris! Suing! He's gonna lose my inheritance!
Suing? Who's suing?
The peasants, Jerry! Jerris! The peasants!
Wait, what? Is this because of the wheel thing?
Oh, you betcha! It's because of the wheel thing, Jerris! My father gave those peasants wheels to put on their carts, and this is how they repay him! Taking him to court! Unbelievable!
Yeah, didn't those wheels kill a lot of peasants?
Peasants, Jerris! Peasants! They're like rats! Who cares if a few wheels ran them down? The wheels are all gone now! I think they're doing this just to get to me. They're acting selfish just to spite me.
Of course! They must really have it out for you.
Thank you!
Have you tried talking to them? Maybe you could convince them to drop the lawsuit.
You think? Hey, maybe I could. They're only peasants. How hard could it be?
The door to the mansion entry swings open violently, slamming against the wall and swinging back again as a vampire who looks like Kramer from the hit show Seinfeld, carrying a large crate, spasms as he tries to squeeze through the frame. He slams the crate down onto the entry room floor.
Cram! What the hell is this?
Well, there I was swimming in the East River when I felt my foot kick something. Cram kicks the air and feigns shock as he slams his hands down on the crate.
You found a crate in the East River?
Not just a crate, Jerris. Look at these marks. It's a pirate crate. Cram points out some skull and bone markings across the crate. Anyway, you know my friend Bob Sacamano? Well, he's got a crane truck, so we hoist it out of the river and up onto my mansion.
What's in it?
Dunno.
If you don't know what's in it, why did you bring it here?
Well, I need something to open it, and I thought I'd borrow your crowbar, Jerris.
All right, hold on.
Jerris leaves the room to fetch the crowbar. Cram looks down curiously at Geodra.
What?
I heard about the suing.
Yeah, I'm trying not to think about it if you don't mind.
Cram walks away from Geodra, shaking his hands and head, and goes looking for food in the fridge. Jerris returns with the crowbar and hands it to Cram as he shuts the fridge, his mouth full of bread. Cram wedges the crowbar in a small gap between two edges of the crate and jimmies the lid off in one forceful slam that sends him falling over the side of the couch onto Geodra. His body makes a series of contractions as he rolls off Geodra onto the coffee table and eventually to his feet again.
Oh my god! I don't believe it!
What? What is it, Jerris?
Jerris pulls out a large circular yellow object.
The crate's full of wheels! Cheese wheels!
Cram shudders back, repeating his fooling antics over the couch in Geodra again. Pirate cheese wheels! Oh no! That's gonna get us in a lot of trouble, Jerris! We gotta do something!
We? Crab, this is all you're doing!
Well, you're on the thick of it now, Jerris! You think the feds won't come looking for you just because you're some hotshot comedian vampire? Guess again.
Cheese!
Geodra walks over to the crate and inspects the cheese wheels.
You know, I've got an idea. Can I have these?
Geodra, what do you think you're going to do with a crate full of cheese wheels? Your family is in mega trouble with wheels already. Think of the peasants.
I am thinking of the peasants. Look, I'll give you tickets to the next 3 Yankees games for the whole crate.
Done. Cram slides out of the mansion entry room into the corridor of the mansion apartments. Geodra begins sliding the crate of cheese wheels out of the room.
Georgia, what do you think you're gonna do?
I'm not losing my inheritance, Jerris. I'm gonna talk to those peasants.
But Georgia, wheels are illegal. You're acting crazy.
Exterior, New York City streets. Geodra stands by his crate on the streets. There is a crude handmade sign next to him that says free cheese for the homeless. A number of shaggy-looking individuals have formed a line leading up to Geodra and the cheese. Geodra is fidgeting in the crate for a moment before he turns toward the person at the front of the line with half a cheese wheel and hands it to them. Thank you kindly, sir.
No thanks necessary, my friend. Just doing the will of Mr. Costanza.
The peasant walks away biting into his cheese. Geodra turns to the queue of people and shouts out to them.
Don't worry, everyone. Plenty of cheese to go around. All thanks to Mr. Costanza, a man of the people.
Ah! There's something hard in my cheese. Geodra turns around to look at the man who he just gave cheese to see him rubbing his jaw and looking strangely at the cheese.
Something hard? What do you mean?
My God! I don't believe it! It's gold! This cheese has gold in it! Thank you, Mr. Costanza. Thank you! Hey, everyone! There's gold in the cheese! We're gonna be rich!
No, that's my gold! Give me back the cheese!
Geodra tries wrestling the cheese from the man's arms. They get into a momentary game of tug-of-war before Geodra manages to yank the cheese free. He falls off balance and knocks his own crate of cheese wheels over, sending dozens of them rolling down the street. Wheels! Run! The crowd of peasants disperses and begins to flee at the sight of the cheese wheels rolling down the street. A number of them, fleeing in fear, don't pay attention to the oncoming traffic of the nearby street and proceed to get run over by a number of cars and a bus. One of the cheese wheels hits a small incline and soars through the air, thumping a peasant on the head, sending him off balance and down an uncovered manhole. A second airborne cheese hits a stop sign, knocking it over and directly down onto the head of an elderly peasant. Gieldra watches in disbelief as he cradles the one bit of cheese he ripped away from the man. A pair of police officers enter the street. Who's responsible for the wheels? A few peasant stragglers, too in shock or lazy to run from the cheese wheels, all point at Gieldra. Bing, ba-ding, bing, bing, bang, bing, bing, dum, bum, bang, 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 dum, jim, bum, bing, dum, boom, boom, ba-da-ba-bip.
Bro, that was really fun. Oh my god, it was hilarious. Like, I can really picture it, you know, especially because all the characters look the same. Makes it a bit easier. That is like, I can't believe you thought there was a chance I wouldn't enjoy this.
I know, very like, dude, the cheese line, that was fucking hilarious. Just
Yeah,
cheese.
I'm glad I got that out of you. That was really good. And honestly, the what was it? The tickets for the cheese and then done.
Yeah.
Just like pure, just amazing. Oh my god. And I like how Jerry the vampire, you know, he's just having a drink of blood and the vampirism doesn't really come into anything else.
So like that's why like the prompts, like I felt like bipolar spoiled rich kid. Man, that's such a George Costanza character. So I like that's where the idea came from. And then like the vampire's mansion thing was kind of like a bit redundant.
No, it worked.
Yeah.
You know? But it looks like the Seinfeld. He's modeled after the Seinfeld TV set. And Sveinfeld, is that like...
I just tried to make it vampire-y.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Thank you for letting me be a part of that one. That was... I have to show my dad this episode. Oh, my God. This will be the one that sells him on it. That was so fucking good.
It was just fun to do something a bit different, you know?
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah, no, it's like... And I like that you did this without prompt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You switched it up,
Yeah,
and that's
switched it
cool.
up.
That's very cool.
It's, to write something a bit different. But, like, do you know why the cheese had gold in it?
Because it was pirate cheese.
Because it was pirate
yeah?
cheese.
Fuck yeah, man.
That's what...
Never
so I was
give
like,
away pirate cheese.
I was like, how the hell does the cheese have gold in it? Okay, it's pirate cheese.
Because yeah, when it was like a pirate thing, I'm like, oh, One Piece. All right, yeah, you just chucked that in there, but no, it actually came around, and it felt like a Seinfeld episode because of all the things that wrapped around,
Yeah.
like the cheese rolling down and everyone being scared because there's wheels, you know, and like then them dying because of that, and like I said, the pirate actually meaning something with the cheese. It's all just good fun, real good fun.
I was like, okay, I have to have you do the voices for George and Jerry or Jerris and Gieldra, because like that's an ongoing Mason thing. He'll just randomly impersonate those two back and forth.
I'm not, like, you know, it's not about being good at it. It's just about having the heart to do it.
Yeah, and like even like half of those lines I was writing, I was just like, the cheese, Jerris, the cheese.
Yeah, no, it was well written so that I could sort of go
Yeah.
off on every line.
Yeah.
And I think I did drop a Jerry in there at one point.
Yeah,
Like,
when I was reading it, I wrote George in one of the pages instead of Gieldra.
oh man, and it's brilliant that he still has the same last name.
Yeah,
At least Seinfeld has a V there and Cram.
I was like, they're going to be a bit vampire-y.
Yeah, they sounded like Giordra. I was like, before we started reading, I was like, is that a woman? And when you had kill capitalized, I was picturing Steve Harvey. You know, when he goes, kill! And I was like, oh, that's what he's written it as. And then I saw Jerris. I'm like, wait a minute.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good
that
fun.
was real nice,
Yeah,
man.
sick. Oh man.
God.
Well, do you want to just?
Shall we just pick up prompts?
Yeah, trivia first though.
Oh yeah, of course.
I've got my trivia question here.
All right, you want to go first?
Yep.
Sweet.
So, where is it? Okay. Uncle Adams,
Uncle Adams,
Canadian
my boy.
rapper. On July 1st, 2013, he uploaded his first video to YouTube. What was it titled?
Damn. 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Is it How to Quit Smoking in 10 Steps? Or something like that? Is it How to Quit Smoking something? Like, or How to Quit Addiction?
Do you want to lock that in?
Yeah. Oh, what was it?
One of a kind.
I wouldn't have got that.
Nah?
Nah, I don't think I've heard that one. That's a song, yeah?
I'm not too
Sounds like
sure.
It would be.
It gained over 96,000 views. It was pre-Dark Unk, so
Pre-Dark Unk.
allegedly. I mean,
Oh,
it was his
interesting.
first video.
Yeah, well, because he's wiped away a lot of the Dark Unk stuff, so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was pre-doc. I'll do some research on that.
But I got this from the Know Your Meme page about him.
it would
And that
definitely.
page is extensive.
Bro,
There's
the
a lot of-
lore on Unk is extensive. He's just announced his new album and he released all the song names. So hype.
How long's the album?
8 songs, which I'm very happy with. That's a good length.
You would know this. What's like the cutoff for albums being deemed an EP or LP?
I think I'm not exactly sure. It's the measurement of an old vinyl record because an EP is a smaller
7-inch.
It's a 7-inch, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why like extended play and then long play is the big one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's where that sort of comes from. But
Oh, shit.
nowadays, like you can have an album be like 20 minutes and it's still considered an album. We just don't use EP or LP anymore.
Yeah, true.
Which is what it is. Anyway, I have a question for you.
Yeah, and what'd you say about it?
All right. Why was George Costanza's first soup from the Soup Nazi refunded and not given to him?
Fuck the Soup Nazi episode, bro. I haven't seen that one for a minute.
But yeah, that's why I was thinking of the question. I'm like, oh my god, we've just done this.
Yeah. So it was why he didn't get given his soup, yeah, essentially.
Yep. So he's ordered his soup.
Yeah, and he says something. Oh, dude. I have the scene in my head. Oh, dude. This is gonna kill me.
I'm happy with this.
Because I know it. I just gotta remember it. And I'll give myself like 30 seconds.
Take as
I don't want
much
to take
time as
too
you
much
need.
time. Because he asks him for something, and he's like, "What?"
That's exactly right.
Oh man.
Not soup for you. I can't do the voice. That's one voice, so I need to practice.
This is gonna crush me, man.
I'd forgotten it until I looked it up. So, I thought it was a different reason.
Because in my head, like the reasons I've got are like he orders more than one soup, which I don't think that's not it. Okay, nah, I give up, man. What is it? This is gonna kill me.
You forgot my bread. I thought it was because he brought Elaine in and Elaine was a pain in the ass, but it's because he didn't get any bread with his soup.
No shit,
And that's what ticks him over.
man. I gotta watch that episode again. I haven't seen that one for ages.
Look at that. A week where we both spin the wheel of epic
Epic wheel.
Epic
wheel time.
Epic wheel time. Fuck yeah. All right.
wanna spin the wheel
I'll go
first?
first. Yeah. Good save.
Oops.
Nice mug choice. Okay. And now we spin. No MacGuffin. That's easy enough.
That's pretty easy,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do like writing about MacGuffins though, so...
Okay.
Right. Spin again.
Yeah.
Spin again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Third time the charm.
This is it.
No male characters. Okay.
That'll be interesting.
It's not gonna be much of a story.
Explosions.
It's a joke.
everywhere.
It's a joke. People.
The woke lefties are gonna come for us.
It'll be the
Just
opposite of the story I just had then. That was pretty much all male characters.
kidding. Team Snap. You can go first.
Cool. All right, so I'll pick character as well. My character is okay. A spontaneous dragon.
Nice.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Reminds me of you.
Does it now?
I'll think of a reason why.
Okay. My setting is Sparta, and then parentheses with the pit in parentheses.
You know 300?
I haven't seen it.
There's a big pit where he kicks people in when they disrespect him or whatever.
Yeah,
So
he says this is Sparta.
he says this is Sparta. So,
yeah.
you don't have to use the pit, but I'm just saying The pit is there for you to use.
Good clarification. I got to research Sparta. And then
What is the
plot
big
hook.
boy?
Post-apocalyptic society has begun worshipping old corporations as gods.
That's cool.
Mm.
Huh.
It's interesting.
And you got Oh yeah, you can make something funny out of that. You might have to watch 300 to get some inspiration.
Sparta's an actual place, though, isn't it?
It is. It's I think it is Greece.
I would assume so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all the Greek kids at school fucking quote that movie.
Oh, that's
They
fair.
do.
No, yeah, I don't know what that was. Oh, he said something that's true.
Bloody
Who's
Greeks.
gonna stop him? All right.
It's not like I said fuck the Greeks. I was just
No, I
like,
love
the
the
Greeks
Greeks.
like this movie.
Yeah, we are a pro-Greek podcast. Just put in the... Well, I mean, 50% of us are at least. Okay, so my story is going to be about a brave, sentient vehicle. I'm thinking of Brum.
That is Brum.
It's fucking Brum, bro.
It's Brum.
And he's going to be in... Oh, you fucker. Stinksville. Oh,
So
God damn
dumb.
it.
It's so
My stories have all been stinky. This is such bullshit. I'll make it work. I'll fucking make it work.
Stinksville. Oh,
That's
that's
fucking-
so funny.
That's so funny.
So mature.
That's some like kids show shit. We got
Yeah,
a Stinksville.
Stinksville.
And everyone in the world has woken up with permanent blindness. I got some. This is gonna be a fun.
Whose handwriting is that?
That is your handwriting.
Okay.
My God, you got great
I
handwriting.
don't remember writing that. It's not bad though.
That's a good one. So
So it's just like a murderous Brum. He can just run people over because they're all blind.
yeah, I mean he's brave. To me, brave means not so much murderous, but he could be.
But what if they like the humans were repressing the cars and then they all woke up blind? He's like, now's my time to be brave and fight for the
Hey,
cars.
man, it's my story, but I do like that.
But you're not gonna write a story about Brum,
I'm not gonna write a story about Brum.
I mean, you
but,
could.
Yeah. I mean, Brum's been kicked down too much.
has he?
No. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Is Brum a guy
Brum,
car or a
Brum,
girl
here
car?
we come. You'd have to analyze the theme song, I think.
Brum sounds male.
It
Maybe
does
that's
sound
just
male.
my inherent
Brum,
bias.
Brum, here he. Is it here he comes or here we come?
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna. You know what? Next fortnight we'll have the answer for you guys.
I won't have it.
No, I will.
Okay.
I will. I mean, maybe cars don't necessarily have genders, but maybe they gendered Brum because it was a different time.
That's true. It was a different
Yeah.
time.
Brum comes back as a they them car,
Hmm.
which there's no joke there, so don't laugh. Not you. People watching might think like, oh, he's being funny. No, it's just me being progressive. Like,
There's
shut
nothing
up.
sure to make someone laugh and saying, don't laugh.
Anyway, we got some cool stories coming up. Now, my man, do we have a diary entry?
Nah, I forgot to bring my journal.
No, that's all good. Do you have any thoughts then? Just any thoughts you want to, we can discuss now. It would be good to end with something, and if we think for too long, we can just cut out a bit of this thinking time here. But I'll
Yeah,
think as
no,
well.
yeah, that's true. Not in particular.
No.
What was my handicap again? No male characters.
Yeah, and mine was no MacGuffin. Oh, damn, that would have been a good story with a good MacGuffin.
What is a MacGuffin again? It's like an item. It's like the Infinity Stones, yeah.
Well, the Infinity Stones, they are MacGuffins, but they have some.
Is it just an item that drives the plot?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. You think more so like Pulp Fiction, the briefcase. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what's in the briefcase.
Yeah, true.
They do, and it's just a plot driving device, pretty much.
Yeah.
And all the best stories have them, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fun having.
What's
a
your favorite
about-
story?
What do you mean by that? Just overall?
Yeah.
Wow, what a question. You can think about this one as well. if
Yeah,
you want.
I am.
Favorite story.
Favorite story.
I now I don't think I'm going to be able to pick a favorite. I will. Say
I think that's
have
hard.
favorites.
Yeah.
And I will say one of my favorites, the movie. It's also like a Korean comic, I think, Old Boy. And I won't say anything about it because it's one of those movies that you just. Well, I've seen the movie, I haven't read it. You just sort of have to sit down and watch it and go along for the ride, and it's so brilliant, and it's one of those ones that will stick with you after you've watched it, like you'll be thinking about it for a while. Really, really, really good movie, and really interesting story. Like, really fucked up, but really, like...
How recent's the film?
The film was 2006, I think, do not watch the American remake.
Okay.
I had a friend watch it. I was like, hey, watch this movie, Old Boy. And he enjoyed it, but it turned out he watched the American one. So he can now...
So is the one you watched a Korean film?
I watched the Korean one.
Okay, yeah.
And it's, oh man, it's so good. That's one of my favorite stories. As like fucked up as it is, it really, really does something to you. Like, it makes you think. As like lame and nothing as that sentence is, it really does make you think. And you have to suspend your disbelief for a bit of it. But, you know, if you just lock yourself in there and you're like, I'm just going to go along for this movie, it's good fun. Good fun's not the right word, actually. I take that one back. It's exciting and it's enthralling. Yeah, that's one of my answers.
Old Boy. I don't think I've heard of that. Maybe in passing, but interesting.
Definitely a movie. Like, it's kind of like The Fly, where I tell everyone, hey, you should watch this movie. Because The Fly is another really good story, I think. But I think the remake of The Fly, they take... Do you know either story of The Fly?
No.
So the original one, the 50s one, I'm okay spoiling that.
Yeah.
The guy, he builds a teleporting machine and a fly gets stuck in the machine with him. So after he teleports, his head becomes the fly's head. And his arm becomes the fly's head.
The Simpsons did a spin-off.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And I watched the 50s one and it's actually quite good. It's scary in a really eerie way. But the remake, the Jeff Goldblum one, it has the same premise, but instead of him swapping organs and body parts with the fly and them having to find the fly, he combines with the fly. And you sort of see this man begin unraveling as like fly-like. He slowly becomes the fly, and it's just... That's kind of a spoiler, but you sort of know what you're getting into.
Yeah, but there's no way to pick how that
exactly
goes.
Yeah, and I won't say much else.
Yeah.
That is another really good story. It's really interesting, and another just really good movie.
You know,
what about you?
There'd be so much, man. Like One Piece, the story is fantastic. I'll like never stop touting that. There's a film called City of God, which is a really amazing film, great insight into like a ghetto lifestyle and just different part of the world. I think it's really good for just gaining perspective on just how different the world is from place to place. But this is interesting. There'd be so many stories that are just actual events that have happened. Obviously, you know, there's history buffs and there's a lot of great stories in history. I heard one the other day about, I can't remember what the ship was called, but it was before Australia was colonized. I think it was sometime in the 1700s. It was when like the Dutch East Indies was still a thing, and there was the big shipping company that the Dutch ran out of there, and they were doing trips sort of from Indonesia, I guess, back up to Europe. And I think they sent out like a pair of ships, and they got shipwrecked. Also, they sort of ran aground on these really small coastal islands, like off the coast of Australia. And like they really barren places, and the story was fucking crazy of like how they sort of formed this mini society, and then they sort of kicked half the people away just to see, and they luckily found another island not too far away, and then they set up a little like encampment on that island, and the people who were like the mutineers started just like killing people randomly. Like it's I'm doing a very poor job of explaining it, but this is an actual event. I'll find what it's called. If you just look up like.
I'm sure, yeah, like...
Dutch East Indies, West Australia, Mutiny Island, some shit like that. Like, it's crazy.
That's nuts.
But it got me thinking, like, there's so many stories that are, like, real-life events that are just incredibly interesting. I mean, you look at the story of, like, any major conflicts in the world. Like, you just couldn't write them, almost.
No, that's true. Yeah, I sort of immediately went to movies and stuff, but I'm thinking of, like... I'm now thinking of, like, Chris Chan. A story like that.
Yeah.
And I won't go in, if you know, you know.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And then I think of my own boy that I've been following, who I'm not going to name.
Oh, dude, that's a story and a half.
Yeah.
See, how good's that story?
It's a brilliant
This is a
story.
poor subject to talk about on the podcast.
I'll try and, without saying names or anything.
Yeah.
I met a person a long time ago. I follow them on Instagram, and they are living their own personal Truman Show, where they are uploading all of their thoughts and
Unfiltered as fuck.
Unfiltered as fuck. And it's a person that I'd love to make a little documentary video on, but I do not want to spread his name or his image, because there will be people out there who will identify with him.
Yeah.
We cannot have that, because it is it is upsetting.
It's just unhinged.
It's unhinged. It's insane.
But it's also he's aware of how insane he is.
He is what,
which is why it's so compelling.
He's a sociopath.
I assume
I think that's when you know that you're a bit out of place. He's very much a Patrick Bateman kind of person.
Yeah,
and he will probably end up dead or in jail.
That was your bet.
It's a good bet.
Yeah, if he had to put it on someone, a guy like that.
And then when that happens, that's when I will make a video about him. When he either he's dead or he's in jail.
So where he's somewhere where he can't get to you.
Pretty much, because he's packing on 100 kilos of mass, boy.
Oy,
he's
boy.
gonna pick up Krav Maga. That's what he said.
But just there's stories everywhere, I suppose,
Yeah.
when you stop and look at it.
Even we've got our own stories,
Yeah, as cliche as it is.
It is, but there's exciting events that happen in our lives. My favorite story being my cliff injury, which I've told that story too many times. Look at my Facebook; you can see my head ripped off. Yeah.
But yeah, there's it's funny to think like moments like that, like your own personal sort of climax sort of events that happen in your life where it's really positive or really negative, and it's just a really intense moment. There's probably still a bunch of those to come.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And you can sort of look at them as like starting and endings of chapters in your life. Like here's a pivotal point.
Yeah, because if they're that intense, they shift your perspective and your relationship to the world and others around you. Yeah.
Nice. That was a cool way to end. I like that.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. I don't think there's anything else.
Definitely. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and thanks for your patience. We know all of you out there are mad at us for being late.
No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit, but that's fine. We love you anyway.
Ciao.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Write Off Podcast, hosted by Lachlan and Mason. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you're listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, leave a nice review and follow us. It really helps out. Follow us on Instagram at WriteOffPodcast, and feel free to email us as well at writeoffpodcast@gmail.com. Trust me, it's the right thing to do.